Santiago de Cali, usually known by its short name Cali, is the capital of the Valle del Cauca department, and the most populous city in western Colombia with an estimated 2,319,655 residents according to 2005-2020/DANE population projections. The city spreads out across 563 kilometers to and 129 kilometers to of urban area, surpassing Medellín and making Cali the second largest city in the country behind Bogotá. As the only major Colombian city with access to the Pacific coast, it is the principal urban, cultural, and economic city in western Colombia, making the city one of the fastest-growing economies in Colombia. The city was founded on July 25, 1536 by the Spanish conquistador Sebastián de Belalcázar. It is the main sports center of Colombia, being the only Colombian city to have hosted the Pan American Games, and the 1992 World Wrestling Championships, 9th edition of the World Games in 2013. It hosted the UCI Track Cycling World Championships in 2014, and will host the World Youth Championships in Athletics in 2015. Etymology: Cali is the shortened form of the official name of the city, Santiago de Cali. Santiago honors Saint James, whose feast day is celebrated on July 25. The origin of the word Cali comes from the local native Indian tribe the Calima, or Calimas, descendants of the Chibcha tribe. Some believe that the word Cali has Quechua origin, and was brought by the Yanacuna that came from Quito serving Sebastián de Belalcázar. This theory is related to the fact that near Quito there is an indigenous town named Cali. History: Pre-Columbian era and conquest. Before the arrival of the Spaniards, the region was inhabited by many indigenous tribes, mostly speakers of Caribbean languages. In the region between the Cauca River and the Western Cordillera, the Gorons established themselves between the present-day Roldanillo and Santiago de Cali. The biggest town of the Morons was sited on the river Pescador near the present-day towns of Zorzal and Bucala Grande. Although ritualistic cannibals, the Morons traded with the Cambayas who inhabited the north of the Valle del Cauca. On his way to Cali, Sebastián de Belalcázar first met the Timbers, who ran away before the arrival of the conqueror's men, leaving behind their towns and gold. After the Timbers, towards the north, the Spaniards entered the territory of the chief Jaimunda and his tribe. The Jaimunda is, between the rivers Pans and Jaimunda. These Indians offered a strong resistance to the invaders, fighting with poisonous darts and arrows against the arquebuses and swords of the Spaniards. Eventually, the Spanish prevailed in the struggle over the Central Valley. Before taking complete control over the region, the Spaniards had to defeat the chief Pitacuy, whose tribe inhabited the area between the River Lila and the Western Cordillera. Pitacuy formed a big army with many tribes and fought the Spaniards on Holy Tuesday of 1536. The Morons gave up easily to the Spaniards and were divided in encomiendas. The already mixed nature of the Spaniards made the process of mixing with the Amerindians easy. In fact, Belalcázar himself fathered several children born in the Americas from Amerindian mothers, as did his men. Santiago de Cali was important for Belalcázar because it was outside the Inca Empire. After the capture and execution of the Inca Atahualpa at Cajamarca, Francisco Pizarro had sent Belalcázar to take possession of Guayaquil and Quito on his behalf, but Cali, being outside the Quechua Empire, was claimed by Belalcázar as his own territory. After his death, his descendants maintained possession of much of the land until the War of Independence against Spain. Founding and colonial period. The founder of Cali, Sebastián de Belalcázar, came to the American continent in the third voyage made by Columbus in 1498. In 1532, after serving in Daraya copyright in Nicaragua, he joined Francisco Pizarro in the conquest of Pira. In 1534 Belalcázar separated from Pizarro's expedition to find the city of Quito, and later in his search of El Dorado he entered the territory of what is now Colombia, founding the cities of Pasto and Popayán. On July 25, 1536, Belalcázar founded Santiago de Cali, first established a few miles north of the present location, near what are now the towns of Viges and Riofrio. Under the orders of Belalcázar, Captain Miguel Mua ± moved the city to its present location in 1537, where the chaplain Brother Santos de ± Asco celebrated a mass in the place occupied by the Church La Merck today, and Belalcázar designated Pedro de Ayala as the first municipal authority. During the Colonia, Santiago de Cali was part of the Gobernación Cubana of Popayán, which was part of Quito's Audiencia. Although initially Cali was the capital of Popayán's Gobernación Cubana, in 1540 Belalcázar moved this function to Popayán due to better weather. Until the 18th century most of the territory of what is now Santiago de Cali was occupied by haciendas, and the city was only a small town near the Cali River. In 1793, Santiago de Cali had 6,548 inhabitants, 1,106 of whom were slaves. The haciendas were the property of the dominant noble class with many slaves dedicated mostly to stock breeding and raising sugar cane crops. Many of these haciendas became zone of the present city like ± Avarallo, Chipacap, Pazuanco, Arroyondo, ± Asgordas, Limona and Mela copyrightendes. Santiago de Cali was strategically positioned for trade, centrally located in relation to the mining regions of Antioquia, Chicó, and Popayán. In the colonial period, the first trail for mules and horses between Santiago de Cali and the port of Buenaventura was completed. Independence. On July 3, 1810 Santiago de Cali refused to recognize the Council of Regency of Spain and established its own junta. This local uprising predates the national one in Bogotá by 17 days. The governor of Popayán, Miguel Tarco Cubden Rosic, organized an army to control the uprising. The people from Cali called for help to the Junta Suprema in Bogotá, which sent a contingent under Colonel Antonio Baraya to support the independence cause. For mutual defense, Cali also formed, with Ansama, Cartago, Toro, Buga and Caloto, the confederated cities of the Cauca Valley, which declared independence from the Governorate of Popayán on February 1, 1811, although they continued to recognize the absent Ferdinand VII as their head of state. On March 28, 1811 in the Battle of Bajo Palaca copyright the army of Baraya defeated the royalist army with the help of Atanasio Girardot. In the following years there were many battles between royalists and local militia. After having been released from captivity by Napoleon, Ferdinand VII sent a large army under the command of the pacificador Pablo Murillo who restored royalist rule in the area by 1816. In 1819 after Sima Cubden Bolivar defeated the bulk of the royalist army in the Battle of Boyaca, there were new uprisings in the Valle del Cauca and the Criollos took control permanently. In 1822 Bolivar arrived in Santiago de Cali. The city was an important military outpost and the region contributed many men to the War of Independence that liberated the nations in the south. Modernism. In the 19th century Santiago de Cali, capital of the Valley of the Cauca River State, was a very quiet community with no more than 20,000 inhabitants. The urban center of the city was in the neighborhoods of Empedrado or Altozano, which were surrounded by La Merced and San Antonio neighborhoods. The city was surrounded by mango plantations, pastures and communal land that were transferred from the Spanish crown to the working classes. From the market gardens on this land the city was supplied with food resources. The economy was based mainly on livestock, sugar cane, beef, painla, a sugar derivative, cheese and the gold mines of the Pacific. There was also a small growing industrial sector of the economy. Around 1890 a private company, Company of Public Works of Cauca, built the Plaza de Mercado. This originated the development of a commercial area and from this came the transformation of the Plaza Mar or Plaza de Caído. In 1921, the market was sold to the Cali municipality. Very close to the 9th Street was the principal station of the Tranvía of Cali, a system which linked the city with suburban areas. Recent history. On August 7, 1956, at around 1 a.m., 7 Colombian army trucks filled with 42 tons of dynamite exploded near the train station, destroying around 8 city blocks. A nearby army barracks was instantly destroyed, killing all 500 soldiers. Windows were shattered for miles. more than 1,000 people were killed and several thousand injured. In 1971 Santiago de Cali hosted the Pan American Games, an event which is considered by many as the height of the city's golden age as a model of civic orderliness. After it, Cali was named the sports capital of Colombia. In 1982, the government of Cali inaugurated what is now the third largest building in the Republic of Colombia, La Torre de Cali, or the Cali Tower. It has a hotel, offices and apartment complexes. It stands at 42 floors above the city, making it the third largest building in Colombia and the largest building in Cali. Geography and climate. Location. Cali is located on the Cauca Valley to the west of the Cauca River and to the east of the western mountain range near the hills known as Farallones de Cali. The city rests approximately 1,000 meters above sea level and its topography is fairly flat. Approximately 100 kilometers west of Cali and over the western Cordillera, lies the port city of Buenaventura on the Colombian Pacific coast. To the northeast are the industrial town of Yumbo and the city of Palmira, where Cali's international airport, the Alfonso Bonilla Arriaga Cubden, is located in Palmira, Colombia. It is Colombia's third largest airport in terms of passengers, transporting 2,667,526 in 2009. Geography. Santiago de Cali is located in a valley. The city is completely bordered by mountains to the west. The Farallones de Cali Mountains are the closest to the city. The eastern part of the city is bordered by the Cauca River. To the north and south are extended plains. In the first one you can find the industrial city of Yumbo, which is part of Cali's metropolitan area. To the south you can find Jamunda, also part of the metropolitan area. The city is mainly flat, but there are areas mostly to the west that are mountainous, like San Antonio and La Loma de la Cruz, which are both tourist sites. There are several rivers that descend from the western mountain range and empty into the Cauca River, passing through the metropolitan area of Cali. In the western part of the city the Aguacatl River flows into the Cali River, which continues on to the Cauca River. In the south the rivers called Plus or minus Averaljo, Lila, and Melacopirantes flow into the CVC South Channel, which also empties into the Cauca River. Further south, the banks of the Pance River are a popular place for recreation and leisure. Climate. Under Car paragraph PPEN's climate classification, Cali features a tropical savanna climate. The local climate is semi-tropical as the western mountain range screens the flow of humidity from the Pacific coast towards the interior of the country. In the afternoons Santiago de Cali enjoys a fresh cross breeze that originates in the west and blows east. The western mountain range rises from an average of 2,000 am above sea level in the northern part of the city to approximately 4,000 am to the south. Because of this variation in altitude, the weather in the northwest portion of the city is drier than in the southwest. The average annual precipitation varies between 900 to 1,800 mm depending on the metropolitan zone for a citywide average of approximately 1,000 mm. Cali's average temperature is 25 degrees Celsius with an average low temperature of 18.5 degrees Celsius and a high of 31 degrees Celsius. Due to its proximity to the equator there are no major seasonal variations. However, locals refer to the dry season as the city's summer, in which temperatures can rise to 34 to 36 degrees Celsius and go down in the nights to 18 to 19 degrees Celsius. There is another period called the rainy season winter, in which temperatures can rise to 28 to 29 degrees Celsius and go down in the nights to 16 to 17 degrees Celsius. There are typically two rainy seasons, from March to May and from October to November. However, rain can be expected to fall at any point during the year, nourishing the city's permanent green and lush vegetation. The highest temperature ever recorded was 39 degrees Celsius on August 16, 1979, and the lowest temperature ever recorded was 4 degrees Celsius on June 18, 1979. Cali has only had two instances of snow accumulation, in 1979 and in 1983. Tourism. Historic District, Santiago de Cali offers historical areas with cultural variety and other attractions. In downtown Cali there are many historic churches such as La Merced and La Ermita. Cali contains a well-preserved historical center. The most important zone is La Plaza de Caicedo, considered the center of the city, which is a square surrounded by many historical and modern buildings like El Edificio Otero, La Catedral and El Palacio de Justicia. This plaza is close to other tourist places, like the St. Francis Church, the Municipal Theatre and La Merced Church. The city is also rich in monuments, parks, squares and museums. The most emblematic sculptures are Cristo Rey, located upon a mountain range. Sebastián de Belalcázar, founder of the city. And Las Tres Cruces, a place of pilgrimage during the days of the Holy Week. Regular tourism. There is a variety of nightclubs and restaurants. In the city you can find whole districts dedicated to tourism, for example Granada, one of the most traditional districts in Cali, full of gourmet restaurants, fashion stores and boutiques. Another spot to visit is along La Sexta, or 6th Street and Menga, which has risen to be the most popular area for clubbing. Many types of nightclubs are there, as are restaurants and hotels. This area is usually called the Zona Rosa, or Pink Zone, and is located in the north very close to Chipacap Mall. In recent years the restaurant industry has boomed, ranking Cali very close to Bogotá in first-class restaurant options. Main touristic centers, Plaza de Caicedo, the main square of the city, located in downtown Cali. The plaza is named after Cali's hero, Joaquín de Caicedo Huaycaro. Parque del Perro, located in the San Fernando neighborhood, this is one of the most popular areas in the city, full of restaurants and bars. If you want to party or just have a nice dinner, then this is the place for you. The park gets its name because it has a dog monument in the middle of it. Avenida San Joaquin, located in the Ciudad Jardín Popular, is a place in the city, is a pink area, VIP. Cali 66, nightclubs in Cali, the best events, best bars, the best rumba, the most driven, most beautiful women, most people find it cute. Cali La Rumba VIP. Menga, located north of Santiago de Cali, is one of the most representative of the rumba in the city, where you can find all the rhythms of time, plus exclusive platform to see the best artists in action, highly comfortable facilities, environment heated, only club in the area of Menga with VIP area, latest sound technology and robotic lights, the best rumba crossover Lawless Carrot. Sebastián de Belalcázar's monument, it is the most visited and popular monument in the city, located in the hills overlooking the city. The monument is famous due to its pointing finger, which is pointing to the opposite direction of the valley, while its face is looking down at the city. Cali River, one of the most peaceful zones in the city, the river is located in the west and is surrounded by restaurants, hotels and museums like La Tatuya, an art museum. Cristo Rey, a religious monument located on a hill that offers the best view of the city. It is 31 am high, of which 5 am belong to the base. San Antonio, it is the most traditional neighborhood of Cali. In the colonial age, it was the extension of the downtown. Although it was split off by La Cali Quinta, it conserves its traditional aura, which makes an inevitable step on the visit. All the neighborhood is on a hill, and at the top you will find the San Antonio Park. Juanquito, host to a large number of Discover QUES dedicated to salsa music, peppered with motels offering hourly rates, and adjacent to some of the poorest areas of the city, Juanquito is a popular destination for colonists looking to party. Although many would prefer to keep it off the list, Juanquito is notorious and deserves mention. Technically, it belongs to another municipality, but is often visited by and associated with citizens of Cali. It is said that if Cali is the capital of salsa, Juanquito is the temple that worships its cult. To get there, Cali ±Os must pass a bridge over the Cauca River, which has been immortalized by the salsa song titled Del Puente para Alas Juanquito. Cali Zoo, ranked in the 5 Latin American zoos, it has become more than simply a place to show animals, as it is involved in research. Its location could not be more wonderful, alongside the Cali River, just where valley and mountains get together. Nearby is the Cali Botanical Garden / Jardín Botánico de Cali, founded by Jorge Enrique Warriula. Farallones de Cali, a part of the city, sits on hills belonging to the Colombian Western Mountain chain. Beyond these hills is Farallones de Cali National Park. Although Cali +or-Os have not yet fully discovered it, in recent years it has boomed as a tourist destination for a full range of different people. Adventurists to climb, walk, paragliding. Naturists for its natural and life environments. Or simply for those looking for cold weather minutes away from urban areas. La Ceiba, a large and old ceiba tree on a street corner at the west of the city. Orquidio Ramón Enrique Pérez Arboleda, this lovely, wooded park, at AV2 and number 48-10, is the site of the large orchid show hosted each fall by Asociación Valenciana de Orquidología. In 2011, the show was to be held 21 September 25 and was to include international judging by the American Orchid Society. It is also a good place for birdwatching. Just walking could not mean a lot, but colonists love doing it in the late afternoon. After 4 p.m., when the heat goes down, the breeze starts. It comes from the neighboring mountains, and refreshes souls and bodies. It is normal in Cali to think of a shopping mall as a touristy place. Most of them are built like urban boulevards, with open-air walking corridors that look like a main street sidewalk. With the large facilities providing complete amenities, Cali +or-Os love just taking walks in them, enjoying the fact that everything is at hand. The most traditional malls are Unicentro in the south and Chipacap in the north. Both are built in the open-air style. Others of this type are Palmetto Plaza, Jardín Plaza, and Cosmo Centro. Other malls in Cali are Centenario, Unico and La 14. Tens of smaller malls are spread all over the city. Certainly, bargains will not be found in most of these malls. Downtown's 13th, 14th and 15th streets are the bargain hub of the city. In the San Andresito or Paysage Cali malls you can buy thousands of inexpensive Chinese-made products. Street selling is legal in only certain locations. There you could find one-of-a-kind crafts. Medical tourism. According to recent Lonely Planet guides of Colombia, Cali has recently become famous for being a prime destination for people seeking cheap cosmetic surgery. Cali's surgeons are famous in Colombia for having shaped some of the country's most beautiful women. There have been no significant reports of problems in this area, but Lonely Planet advises proper research before pursuing such an idea. In the city of Cali about 50,000 cosmetic surgery procedures occur per year, of which around 14,000 involve patients from abroad. Transport, airports. Santiago de Cali is served by Alfonso Bonilla Aragacuben International Airport, located in the city of Palmira. It is Colombia's third largest airport in terms of passengers and fourth in cargo. Alfonso Bonilla Aragacuben is located in a long, narrow valley that runs from north to south, and is surrounded by mountains up to 14,000 feet high. The airport is connected to the city by a highway known as the Recta Palmira, that in the last few years has been upgraded to make the airport more accessible to Cali and the surrounding city centers in the region. The airport has been remodeled recently. Some of the last significant events in those terms were the inauguration of the VIP room in the National Terminal and the installation of a main electronic screen in the center of the check-in area. There is a military airport close to the city's downtown. The Marco Fidel Suárez Air Base is located in the east side of the city and belongs to the Colombian Air Force. It is used as one of the main training centers for the country's fighter pilots. Public transport. The city of Cali offers a variety of ways to move through the city. In March 2009, the Masivo Integrado de Occidente began operations. It is planned to be the primary system that connects the city. Taxis and old buses are the secondary way to get around. Taxis are one of the best systems that tourists can use, as they are relatively inexpensive and are more secure. Non-MIO buses round out the system and are used primarily by the working class to get around and are less expensive to use. Buses are secure but not at the same level as taxis. This part of the transport in the city is awaiting a needed reorganization of routes. Masivo Integrado de Occidente, a massive transit system. MIO is based on the transport model that consists of the use of articulated buses which operate on dedicated bus lanes running down the middle of major thoroughfares. MIO bus stations are located in the middle of the thoroughfare, and are connected to sidewalks by dedicated pedestrian crossings or bridges. The system layout is 243 kilometers and is distributed in a main trunk, pre-trunk and complementary corridors. The system also integrated the renovation and recuperation of the public space. The MIO system was not only designed for the public transport, but built for public use with extensive new sidewalks, parks, gardens and public squares for the public to enjoy. List of the trunk or principal corridors: Cali 5, Carrera 15, Cali's 13Y15, Avenida de las Armas Copyright Ricas, Avenida 3N, Carrera 1, Transversal 25, Carrera 29Y Autopista Oriental, Cali 70. More information about LMIO is in the official website of Metro Cali. Bus Central Station, Cali is served by over 20 coach companies which gather in the central bus station. The station is centrally located near the old railway station, which serves now as Metro Cali's headquarters. Depending on the company and the destination, the vehicles range from minibuses to large coaches. Recently, in their last float renovation wave, Colombian coaches operators have opted for Brazil's Marcopolo buses. Informal stops exist for the short destination rides all along the way from Central Station to the town of destination. In some cases, it is enough for a passenger to ask to get off the bus for the bus to stop. Economy: Cali and Valle del Cauca constitute the third largest economic center of Colombia, being about national and international economic exchange. The city is a must from to the south and the border with Ecuador, and is connected with the world through the seaport of Buenaventura. The economic transformation of Cali and the Valle del Cauca during the 20th century and its crisis of the century, and the outlook to the new century have been the subject of deep analysis of financial and academic institutions. This section is based on the analysis and recommendations of the report Cali Colombia Toward a City Development and Strategy published by the World Bank in 2002, and the Regional Economic Situation reports published quarterly by the DANE. Traditionally, Cali and the department have been space farm, the same as during the colonial times out with the mines, production shaft. In the early 20th century the city's economy was concentrated in the production of sugar, based on an agricultural model in which large tracts of land were cultivated with minimum use of labor. As a result, a few families owned vast areas of land in one of the most fertile regions of the country. This was an important factor in determining the power relations and the organization of the city through the 20th century. In the period 1910–1930 the city's economy shifted its focus from an agricultural model to become a commercial node at the national level through the development of basic infrastructure such as construction of the railway to Buenaventura and the creation of the department of Valle del Cauca with Cali designated as its capital. Although the Industrial Revolution and Valenciana Cali did not begin until the third decade of the 20th century, some companies had already begun to build the industrial development of the region, as the printing company Carvajal y Cia. In 1929 there is the creation of Soap Vela Hermanos. In the 1930s other industries begin to grow as large-scale factories gases and beer, the publishing and cigarettes. Smaller companies also appear focusing on textile clothing, chemicals, chocolates, building materials, leather articles and furniture. In 1940 Cali had already ceased to be a single point of trade and its economy was focused on industry. A few years before the decade began a major investment of foreign capital led to the establishment of many factories and multinationals. Examples are Croydon in 1937, Cementos del Valle in 1939, Carton Colombia in 1941, Goodyear and Colgate-Palmolive in 1941. Later came other multinationals like General CEAT in 1955, and pharmaceutical laboratories were based in the Cauca Valley between 1940 and 1960, as Techniquímicas and Baxter. The flourishing industrial city attracted waves of immigration in the 1950s and 1960s. In these decades there were important partnerships between the public and private sectors, as productive sector support to programs of business administration at the University of Valle. The growth of the university training professionals and technologists, as well as infrastructure development, were crucial for the further development of industry and trade in the Valle del Cauca. This trend continued in the 1970s and early years of the next decade. Public investment in infrastructure reached significant levels, benefiting not only the production sector but also the growing population. This made Cali and Valle del Cauca models further development across the country. In the 1980s, before the relative laxity of the state, drug trafficking became a common and quick way to accumulate wealth. Proceeds from drugs had a strong influence on the economy of the city. Money of dubious origin soon infected many institutions and public and private companies. Money laundering generated an economic boom which declined sharply in the mid-1990s when the central government declared war on drugs. The recession economy of the late 20th century began to take shape. In addition to the war on drugs, were added the atomization of city resources, the lack of continuity in the development plans of the next government, and the lack of human and fiscal resources needed to implement the plan's measures. All this created a climate of mistrust among the population, industry and regional government. In this environment, the policy of economic openness government Gaviria caught the city poorly prepared. In 1998, when the economic crisis became apparent, the national government could not respond to the call of the local politicians and mayors had to introduce austerity measures under pressure from creditor, which the Valenciano development model to collapse. Additionally, the tightening of the country's internal conflict required a tax increase aimed at national war spending, leaving less room for local governments to collect, through taxes, the money required for their development plans. In this century, economic conditions in the country and the city have changed the rules. The model that handled Valenciano becoming's department until the 1980s, has been moved to the globalization of the economy, as evidenced in areas such as capital inflows of the most important economic groups in Colombia, creating strategic alliances between entrepreneurs and multinational Valencianos, the concern of the companies in the region to optimize their resources and services, investment and diversification of economic groups. Faced with the loss of influence of traditional leaders in the region, the Cali Chamber of Commerce has taken his place and served as facilitator of private sector resources focusing on civic and social programs. Although no official figures of DANE of gross domestic product by cities, according to estimates by the administration of Cali, in 1996 the GDP of Cali was $6,000 million, equivalent to 7% of US GDP. According to Statistics DANE in 1995, the annual growth of GDP of the Valle del Cauca region was almost twice the national rate. For 1997, GDP increased marginally Valenciano even 1%. In 1999 the country's economic recession was felt with a depression that made the economy were reduced, showing GDP growth of 4%. Since then GDP has grown valley ups and downs, but its percentage share nationwide has been falling since 1995 as shown in the graph. The department contributes significantly to the national economy. According to statistics for the year 2005, as agricultural valley contributes 5.37% of the national production, which is relatively low compared with Antioquia or Cundinamarca. In fisheries products, the region ranks first with Valenciano contributing 36% of the country's total production. As for mining, the valley is not a metal region. However, in terms of non-metallic minerals, the department contributes 8.15% of the value added across Colombia. The industry Valenciano contributes 13.81% of the national value added, second only to Bogotá with a 25.39% and 18.20% with Antioquia. Particularly, the industries of food, beverages and snuff are important items of the valley's economy, contributing 16% of national value added, equaled or surpassed only by Antioquia and Bogotá. On trade, nationally Bogotá has a 32.22%, 13.25%, Antioquia and Vol 11.34%. In the Valley, transportation services has 12.52% of value added. The consumer price index of Cali has been since the last decade one of the lowest among Colombian cities. About 78% of Cali's people are of working age. In 2005, for the first time in 6 years, the city presented an occupancy rate above 60%, which confirms the good state of the economy, led primarily by growth in manufacturing, agriculture and trade among others. Crime, public order and safety. In the 4 years 2000–2004, the city had a high of 90 homicides per 100,000 inhabitants. According to statistics from 2006, although there was a slight improvement over 2005, the city can still be considered unsafe with a homicide rate of 74 per 100,000, which is high compared to Bogotá. Among the three major cities, Cali has the least investment in security. In 2006, the budget for security in Medellín was more than 4 times higher than in Cali, and in Bogotá the budget more than 7 times higher. In 2008, the rate of homicides was 66 per 100,000 inhabitants. In 2010 it was 80 per 100,000 inhabitants. In 2011 it increased again before dropping in 2012. As of 2006, there were 1,540 intentional homicides in the municipality and 1,726 in the metropolitan area. The rate for the metro area was 63 per 100,000. By 2011 this had increased to 83 homicides per 100,000 inhabitants, which has led certain commentators to declare a crisis of security in Cali. Between January 1 and December 1, 2011, there were 1,870 intentional homicides in the municipality of Cali, which is considered a 5% increase compared to 2010. The surge in violence in Cali in 2011 has partly been attributed to what has been described as an ongoing mafia war between the neo-paramilitary groups Los Rastrojos and Los Uribe+Os. Los Rastrojos are considered the heirs of the Cali cartel, and Los Uribe+Os have their roots in Colombia's coast. Los Rastrojos are accused of committing at least 80 murders in Cali in 2011. According to Colombia's most influential weekly magazine, Semana, there are over 1,700 assassins working for various groups in the city. As of 2011, urban militias, known as militias populous, of the Revolutionary Armed Forces of Colombia are active in the city and surrounding areas. Local civilians and foreigners have been advised by the DAS to take caution due to the risk of planted bombs and kidnappings. The Metropolitan Police and the Colombian Army have taken action to stop several high-profile bomb attacks against military and administrative centers in recent years, such as the multiple FARC attacks against Cali's Palace of Justice in 2008 and 2010. These FARC militias in the Cali metropolitan area are thought to number more than 1,000, and have caused serious concern among the authorities as they have stepped up activity in 2011. In February 2012, the U.S. State Department issued a travel warning regarding Cali, warning of a sharp increase in crime and terrorist activity. During 2012, there was a decrease in homicide amounts, to 24 cases fewer than for the same period last year, and there were 294 fewer people injured, which means a reduction of 8% from a year previous. There were 323 fewer car thefts, that is a decrease of 21% over the same period of 2011. There were 152 fewer residential burglaries, which means a reduction of 17% from the same period of 2011. There was also strengthening technology in the citywide installation of 254 security cameras. Politics. Cali is governed by a mayor who is elected for a 4-year term. Under the mayor, there are several administrative departments and secretaries. Mayor's election started in 1986, followed by governors in 1992. Before these dates, all Colombian regional executive branch leaders were appointed by the president himself. The first elected mayor was Carlos Holmes Trujillo of the Liberal Party. Unlike other Colombian cities, Cali has not properly adapted to the quite new mayor's election system. The city has had some unsuccessful stories with some of its elected mayors, 2 of them being removed from office. Some argue this is caused by Blanca's huge mass population often driven to vote based in small short-term gifts from populist candidates fully aware of this district needs. There were recorded cases of candidates giving bricks, cement and other stuff to the district's leaders in exchange for shifting votes to their campaigns. The city council is composed of 21 members, elected by citywide circumscription for 4-year terms. There is no relation between the number of city councillors and the number of comunas of the city, which is a merely administrative division created to facilitate the city's management. Cali has some decentralized agencies. The most important being, ʻkali energy, telecommunications, aqueduct and sewage systems services. Imserva, public waste management company for the city of Cali. Metro Cali, Cali Salud, Corf Cali, EMRU, education. A large part of the population relies on the public educational system, which is underfunded and in some cases improperly managed. Schools are under municipal or departmental management, the former being the most common. The Municipal Secretary of Education manages a large part of the city's budget, which has brought some politicians to try to control it as their personal organization. The city is endowed with the most sophisticated and high-quality secondary education institutions and universities in the region. Most universities are located in the south of the city. Among the most prestigious are University of Valle, Pontificia Universidad Javeriana, and Universidad ICESI, universities. University of Valle. It is the largest higher education institution by student population in the southwest of the country, and the third largest in Colombia, with more than 30,320 students. Its faculties of medicine, engineering, sciences, and social sciences rank as the best of the region. The first 3 rank at the top in the national level. Unlike every other Colombian public university, UNIVAL does not have a law school. Universidad Autócube Norma de Occidente. Founded in 1975, this private institution has more than 7,400 students. Pontifical Xaverian University. Founded in 1970, Pontifical Xaverian University Sectional Cali serves as the sectional campus of the Pontifical Xaverian University of Bogotá. PUJ is a private higher education institution which currently has more than 5,700 students enrolled in its 17 undergraduate and 20 graduate programs offered by its faculties of engineering, economic and administrative sciences, humanistic and social sciences and health sciences. With over 36,000 printed books spanning a wide array of academic topics, the university's library is one of the biggest in the city. Beginning in 2010, the university will inaugurate its medicine school, bringing its total number of undergraduate degrees to 17. Pontifical Xaverian University is one of the most prestigious universities in the city of Cali, offering first-class education through its accredited and award-winning programs. Universidad IC. University ICESI was founded in 1979 by regional entrepreneurs looking to solve the lack of highly skilled professionals in the areas relevant to their business. It offers undergraduate programs, specializations and masters. It has more than 2,950 students and a library with over 30,000 books. On the second semester of 2009, the university started its highly anticipated medicine school, which will use the Valle del Lily Health Center as its training and educational facility. Universidad San Buenaventura. Founded in 1970 by the Franciscan Order, it's a private institution of higher education that serves like sectional for University of St. Buenaventura of Bogotá. Free University of Colombia. Universidad Santiago de Cali. The University Santiago de Cali, also known as La Santiago or USC, is a private corporation and institution of higher education founded in 1959, National Learning Service. Antonio José Camacho University Institute. Corporación Universitaria Centro Superior, UNICUSES. Escuela Nacional del Deporte. Founded in 1984, the Escuela Nacional del Deporte is, along with Politécnico Jaime Isaac David, the most important institution in Colombia for physical activity, physical therapy and sports science. University San Martin, La Manzana del Saber. Located in the south of the city, La Manzana del Saber is today the most important educational project in Cali. There is already a science museum and a public library. The problem is going to build a new museum called Abracadabra, and an investigation center. The project is in construction phase. The demolition of a whole block of the city will be undertaken to build the complex. You can find more information about this project on the Cali website, Arts and Culture, Cultural Centers. Casa de la Cultura Prots. Since 1871 this house has been a great influence in the culture in Cali. The building was restored on 1991 and it contains exhibition saloons, scenarios and a cinema. Centro Cultural de Cali. Its design was under the charge of the famous Colombian architect Rogelio Salmona, who built as well the Torres del Parque in Bogotá and several other buildings. Since 1997 it is considered the cultural center in the city and headquarters of the Municipal Secretaries of Tourism and Culture. Museums: Museo Arqueológico La Merced, Museo Religioso y Colonial de San Francisco, Museo del Oro Colima from the República Bank, Museo de Arte Moderno La Tortuga, Museo Arqueológico de la Universidad del Valle, Museo Departamental de Ciencias Naturales, Museo Nacional del Transporte, Museo de Arte Religioso, Cali's Museums Guide, La Feria de Cali. La Feria de Cali is the main cultural event in the city. It is a fair that has been celebrated since 1957. The fair is celebrated from 25 to December 30. The fair is known also as the La Feria de la Cal+A, and La Feria de la Salsa. People enjoy many activities like an opening cabalgata, tascas, salsa concerts, bullfights, parades, athletic activities, competitions and cultural exhibitions. Salsa music. Cali is also known as the capital de la salsa given the city's infatuation with that type of Afro-Caribbean music. In early July there is the Summer Salsa Festival which lasts for 1 week. It usually includes concerts by some of the world's great salsa bands as well as dance shows and melomano competitions in which salsa connoisseurs try to outdo each other by digging deep into the archives of salsa music and related sounds to find and reveal long-lost tunes. On any night of the week small salsa clubs offer a variety of Afro-Caribbean beats. Sports: at a professional level, Cali hosts only football teams. At the amateur level there are basketball, football, volleyball, and other sports. Nationally, Cali's athletes compete with Bogotá's and Medellin's in most sport tournaments and championships. Cali has 2 main athletic events, a mid-year half-marathon 1 half-marathon de Cali and a December 10th race called Carrera del Rayo Cali. Colombia's sports capital. The city of Santiago de Cali is recognized as the sports capital of Colombia. It is the first Colombian city to have hosted the Pan American Games, and because this region has won the National Olympic Games more than any other region in Colombia. The city also counts with one of the most developed sport infrastructures in the country. Many sporting events have taken place in the city. Cali has 2 football stadiums. Estadio Olímpico Pascual Guerrero and Estadio Deportivo Cali del Deportivo Cali Palmascat. Estadio Olímpico Pascual Guerrero is currently home of both Deportivo Cali and Arma Copyright Rica de Cali, since Estadio Deportivo Cali is still under construction. Deportivo Cali is the only football team owner of a stadium in Colombia since all of the other football stadiums are owned by the government. Other important scene of activity in the city is Coliseo El Pueblo, a covered arena center used for all type of events. The main use is basketball. Infrastructure: Cali's infrastructure has permitted it to host several major international sports competitions such as the 1971 Pan American Games, numerous Games of the Pacific, the final phase of the 1982 World Basketball Championship, the 1999 World's Roller Hockey Championships, women's basketball and swimming events, Pan American Speed Track Cycling Championships, and most recently the World's Roller Speed Skating Championships. Cali was the host city of the World Games 2013. Pascual Guerrero Olympic Stadium, El Pueblo Arena, Polideportivo de Alvarado, Unidad Deportiva Panamericana, Villa Cubdromo Alcides Netopacia +or-0, Gimnasio Evangelista Mora, Patina Cubdromo Los Diputados, Estadio del Deportivo Cali, football. Santiago de Cali is home of Colombia's Deportivo Cali and Arma Copyright Rica de Cali football clubs. Many well-known football players were either born in Cali or have played in one of its clubs. Wellington Ortiz, Carlos Valderrama, Anthony de Avila, Alex Escobar, Julio Cesar Falcioni, Jorge Orisma N. da Silva, Jorge Bermudez, Giovanni Hernandez, Hugo Rodallega, Mario Yepes, Farid Mondraga Cubden, Adolfo Valencia, and Oscar Car Cubdoba are a sample of them. According to CONMEBOL, Arma Copyright Rica ranks second and Deportivo Cali third in the Colombian national ranking, which ranks itself third in the CONMEBOL ranking. Arma Copyright Rica was ranked as the world's second-best club in 1996 by the IFFHS and 35th in the all-time club world ranking of the IFFHS. Cali is the Colombian city having hosted the most Colombian First Division finals, with 40 matches being played in the stadium. America has won 13 titles, and has been second on 7 occasions. Deportivo Cali has won 8 titles, second in 11 occasions. They have played final against each other 3 times. In the early 50s, now second division cities team Boca Juniors lost 2 finals. Basketball and bullfighting. Though there is no current basketball team that calls Santiago de Cali home, basketball is the second most played sport in the city. Basketball is a preferred sport at the city center location La Carrera del Collado. Football still surpasses basketball in sport popularity. Bullfighting is staged during the Cali Fair, which is held in December. It is anticipated by many citizens in Cali, as well as all Colombia. The bullfighting ring is called La Plaza de Toros de Cali +/Averallo, located southwest of Cali. Other sports, in Cali rugby, tennis, swimming, archery, ultimate is also practiced. Nicknames: Spanish, Capital Mundial de la Salsa or Salsa Capital of the World, Spanish, La Sucursal del Cielo, Spanish, La Sultana del Valle or the Sultanas of the Valley, English, Cali Beach, English, Caliwood, International Relations, Twin Towns are Euro sister cities. Other views. References. External links, Alcaldía de Santiago de Cali, Cali travel page on Colombia reports, Gobernación Cubden del Valle del Cauca, Universidad Libre Seccional Cali, Universidad del Valle, Universidad Santiago de Cali, Universidad San Buenaventura, Universidad Autocube Norma de Occident, Universidad ICESI, Pontificia Universidad Javeriana Euro Cali, El País newspaper, Occidentary newspaper, places to go and things to do in Cali, Colombia, armatedeplan.com Euro todos los eventos en Cali, PDF, Euro 2005 census data, pictures, cities group on Facebook, cities pictures on FLICKR.